Hi FlossTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin and my channel is called Lady Robins. If you are new here, welcome. I am so glad that you have stopped in to join me. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome to you as well. I'm just as glad that you're here. We have got a packed FlossTube coming up for you. It is Tuesday. It is the 23rd of March. Sorry, I had to check my date on my computer. And I have got all sorts of great things to show you. I have some FFOs. I've got some stitching progress. I have haul. We've got some plans. But the most important thing that happened to me today, this little life update, I got one of these. I got my first shot today. I am half vaxxed. Yay! I am so excited to finally have risen up on the eligibility list in my state, and that I've got one of these cards makes me exceedingly happy. I am thrilled. I am thrilled. I'm not here to debate vaccines or the science or any of that. I'm just telling you, this is what's making me happy today. I have one of these cards and I've got an appointment for my second vaccine and good things are coming. I can feel it. So, before we get rolling too far, mug of the day, right? We are in Memphis today. And there is the dregs of a latte in here. I've been sitting here sorting things out, getting stitchy things organized, and been slowly draining my latte, which is fine with me, right? I like a good latte. It is what I had at the Issaquah Coffee Company. It is a vanilla latte with caramel syrup and what is it? Cinnamon sprinkles over the top. Oh, yummy, so yummy. So, cheers. Okay, so I hope you guys are having a fantastic day as well. Like I said, I'm super revved up, so I will try not to talk 100 miles an hour, but that might be what happens. Okay. Well, you're here for stitching, you're here for cross-stitching. Let us start with finishes. Do you want to start with finishes? I have two finishes. And I think they turned out great. The first one is a freebie chart from Helen D, who is also East Coast Crafter on Instagram, if you want to follow her there. This is her free chart. She calls it Easter Peeps. I picked all my own colors, and this week I turned it into a pillow. And if you haven't spotted it yet, and I'll link it in my show notes, Helen had a tutorial video, I think she posted it yesterday, and on doing pillow finishes, and it's really, really super smart, step-by-step, shows exactly how to do it to get the results that Helen gets. And one of the things that she talked about to keep her ends nice and fluffy, she tucks yarn into each of the corners, each of the four corners. I think that's brilliant because I just finished this yesterday and already my corners are a little flat. So I liked that suggestion. So this is my second FFO. This is Tiptoeing Through the Tulips. It's by Brenda Gervais and it's from her book, what is it? Jelly Bean Jubilee. That's what it is. Jelly Bean Jubilee. This is one of, I think there's 7 patterns in that booklet. This is Tiptoeing Through the Tulips. So I had this cut out and stitched, but I hadn't stuffed it yet. And so this morning, before I got my vaccine, I boogied on down to Michael's, and I picked, no, not Michael's, Joann's, and picked up a skein of, I thought I had it sitting here, but I don't, of really fluffy yarn. Big yarn, not a lightweight, not something you'd make socks out of, something that's really, really heavy. And Helen says she cuts about 18 inches and wads it up and stuffs it into each corner. And I did that on this. And yeah, I think it makes a huge difference. I think this one looks really, really good. So, and then I'm particularly proud of my stitching, my hand sewing on these. And you guys, I have to tell you a funny thing. For the first time in forever, I was able to thread my sewing machine without looking at the instruction manual. This FFOing is giving me a little more confidence with my sewing machine, and yeah, I didn't have to look up on, I think it's page 6, the instructions for how to thread the sewing machine. Yep, I'm learning new skills, you guys. And anyway, there's my FFOs this time. I keep covering up the stitching. I just think this one is just as cute as can be. Not that this one isn't. This one is adorable too. So there's my 2 FFOs this week. I'm really excited. And I will insert a picture right here. That is sitting on my dining room table. So when you come into my house, my dining room is right there. And so I've got a little bowl with cross stitch in it. I've got bowl stuffers. I'm thrilled. I'm totally thrilled with how that turned out. So, and the other cool thing, you guys, is Tiptoe Through the Tulips. I started that this week on Wednesday, finished stitching it, and FFO'd it in under a week. That never happens to me. I usually, putz around and goof around and finally get around to finishing it. But this week, yeah, I kind of went for it. Part of the reason is, Easter is only, 10 days away or something like that. So if I want to enjoy that for Easter, but then of course continue on to spring, I needed to get my tail in gear. So I was highly motivated to get it done, and I did. Yay! Besides that, I did work on both of my WhipGo pieces. In case you're new here, WhipGo is cross stitch bingo. A whip is a work in progress. Oh, FFO is fully finished object. So it's when you take a finished piece of cross stitch and you turn it into a something. So you frame it, you turn it into a pillow, whatever it is you want to finish it off as. So FFO, fully finished object. So on my WhipGo board, like I was saying, I worked on both of my pieces. So I worked on Cinnamon Stars and Summer SnapperLand. So let me start with Cinnamon Stars. I am really happy with all the progress I got on this one. And I think last week I was telling you my plans on Cinnamon Stars was to finish the corn on the right hand side of the piece. And let me see if I can show it to you. There you go. So let's get a close up now. I was able not only to finish all the little corn here. I had the stalks done, so I just needed to do the little corns on the top. Not only was I able to get the corn done, but I got tons of stars finished up. When I picked this up at the beginning of the week, I only had these 3 stars done and 1 coming out of the chimney. So I completed these 2 stars, and then I got these 4 stars are fully completed, and then I started on the next 2, and then I started on the big one down here by the chimney. So I got lots of good stitching done on cinnamon stars. And when I was looking at the pattern, oh, the pattern's in the living room, so I can't show you, but when I was looking at the pattern to see, you know, how close I am to a finish, I'm really getting there, you guys. I still have to finish, you know, the star smoke trail, and then there's a couple more big stars, and then it's done. I'm definitely going to have this guy completed this year and framed and ready for the fall. I'm super excited by the thought of a finish on cinnamon stars. The other thing that's on my Whip Go board. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, my goals for each piece this month on Whip Go are to stitch on it 5 days. 5 days each. Cinnamon stars, I've now stitched on it for 4 days, so I have 1 day left. So I still have time to get a good amount of stitching in on that piece. And the reason that thing got so much love is on Sunday, I just didn't want to do anything. I just was in I don't want to leave the house. I'm going to sit here by my fireplace. And I think I might have stitched on that one for probably for about a total of 4 hours. I kept thinking in my head, you know, usually when I stitch in the evening, it's usually an hour and a half to 2 hours. That could almost count as, you know, days 4 and 5 for Whip Go. But I've decided I'm not gonna cheat. You know, if you want to call that cheating, but I've decided I'm not going to cheat. I really am going to give it a 5th full day. And who knows, if it's another big 4-hour stitching day, man, I think I could get really close to finishing it. I bet I could get that whole, you know, star smoke trail done. Okay, so enough about cinnamon stars. The other thing that's on my Whip Go is Summer SnapperLand by Bent Creek. And if you're new here, Summer SnapperLand it's 4 cards, and you can stitch them individually. However, I'm stitching them all on one piece of linen. It's kind of like little snapshots, and then there's a border that goes around it. And so when I picked this up at the beginning of Whip Go, this card wasn't even started. So I have finished card number 2, and I'm moving into card number 3, which is the lighthouse. So I'm getting good progress on Summer SnapperLand also, and that one, I'm looking at my thing. I've only stitched on Summer SnapperLand 3 days, so I still have 2 days to go on that one. So it'd be really fun to get close to a finish on card number 3. Because one of the things about Summer SnapperLand is in my journal, which is behind me over there, I wrote down all of my projects, and it turns out Summer SnapperLand is my oldest whip. So I really want to finish that this year. Summer SnapperLand is my first oldest whip. The second oldest is Playing with Jacks, and then Cinnamon Stars is up there. It might be number 3 or 4 in terms of my oldest whips. So I'm working diligently to get some of these older whips crossed off so that new things can be stitched, because there's tons of stuff I want to stitch. And yeah, gotta keep the love on these projects. So that's where I am on Summer SnapperLand. I'm loving my progress. And then the 4th thing that I stitched on, and I only stitched on it 1 day, you guys, but one day's better than no days, right? Was my Owl Forest Embroidery Hyperborea. And I'm working right in the middle. I'm working on that big old owl. So, when last we met, the owl didn't have any of the wing. So I'm working on that one wing, and that's almost complete. So I definitely want to give Hyperborea some more love this week and at least finish off that wing, if not move over and start the other wing. So Hyperborea, that is my other one that I'm working on. So loving that. Oh, and you guys, I heard the saddest thing from another floss tuber, and I can't remember who it was, but they were saying that Owl Forest, there was a fire in the distribution plant. So if you are waiting for something from Owl Forest, give them some grace because they've got a problem. And so things, your order isn't lost, but things are going to take a whole lot longer to get to us while they sort all that out. And I don't know any more details except that there was a fire and they're dealing with some stuff. So Owl Forest, I'm thinking about you. I'm hoping that everything works out okay and you can get back up and running quickly. And I don't know that they're not running. I'm just assuming that there's a lot of things that they've got to work through. So again, Owl Forest, it might just take a little bit longer for your orders to show up. So just passing on the little things that I know. Okay, so that's my stitching this week. I'm planning on working on Summer SnapperLand tonight. Definitely going to work on Cinnamon Stars sometime this week to get my 5th day in. In fact, I'm probably going to do 1 day of Cinnamon Stars and 2 days of Summer SnapperLand. So I will have completed my Whip Go goals. Try to say that 3 times fast. And beyond that, of course, I'm going to do some more work on Hyperborea. And then I'm going to break out something that I haven't touched in a while. And it might be Good Company by Plum Street. I haven't touched that for a while. Oh, but I also, I need to work on Sense and Sensibility. I'm way behind on that Sal. So that's another one that is kind of calling my name. And then, of course, I want a new start. I talked about it last week and I did not do a thing about it, but I want to start this guy. Oh, I'm throwing things everywhere. I want to start Gnomes in the Garden Row by Bent Creek, my beloved Bent Creek. And I've been trying to figure out what fabric I want to use for this piece. And a while ago, I bought, let me just take it out. I bought a big piece of Lakeside linen. And this is a 32 count. Oh gosh, that doesn't show true to color at all. It's a really cool mossy green. That's a little bit better. So anyway, I was thinking of doing Gnomes in the Garden on that moss green because I'm thinking that would be kind of cool, don't you think? And then I might have to swap out a few of the colors. There's a couple of colors I'm not sure are going to look fantastic on that green, but the few that I've pulled that are called for don't look too bad. So here is part of the color palette on the Gnomes in the Garden. So I'm working on kitting this up, and I do want to start that. See this one right here, what is that? That is Weeks Artichoke. That's the one that I'm not 100% sure is going to look all that great on this. I think they might be too matchy-matchy. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And that's my new start that I want to get to. But I definitely think this fabric is going to be super fun for gnomes in the garden. The other thing is, it's a 36 count. I usually 32 is what I stitch on most of the time, but I think this will be super fun. And because it's 36 count, I'll only need to use one strand of floss and get good coverage. So I think it'll probably stitch up fairly quickly, only working with one strand of floss. The other thing I haven't quite decided is most of the alphabet is stitched in, you know, kind of a brownish color. I can't remember what it is. Picnic Basket. Yeah, Picnic Basket by the Gentle Arts. Their sampler thread. And I haven't decided if I'm going to stitch it in that or not, because it's a lot of brown. So I might go rogue, and I might stitch some of the alphabet in the Picnic Basket, and some of I might switch it up a little bit. Maybe do, you know, there's some of the letters are stitched in green. I might add more green letters, because especially this is the Gentle Arts Grape Leaf. I think that looks really cool on this fabric. So I might do more letters in grape leaf. That's what my head is telling me. Do more of that, because I really like that color. So that's one of my plans. Hope to get started on that. I don't know if I'll get to it this week. It might be the week after, but I'm still working with my colors a little bit, so I'm behind Helen D. She said I know she started it on the first day of spring on the 20th of March, and I'm still goofing around, but that's okay, right? We're not under any timetable, so that's part of why I'm late, Helen, because I'm still goofing around with colors and fabric, and there's too many choices. So anyway, that's one of my plans as well. Now, for the fun part, I got some haul. You ready? So I went and placed an order with Acorns and Threads, one of my favorite shops in Portland. You're in Portland. Yeah. And I got a few little tiny things. One of the things that I had ordered a while ago was their new chart called Hop On In. And I thought I had put the chart in here with all my stuff, but I guess I didn't. Oh well, it's okay, no trouble. But what finally came in was the Sulky thread pack. And the other thing that's cool about these Sulkies is they also are used for the hands-on design, Life Needs More Chocolate Bunnies. And that I also have that pattern. So I've got 2 patterns to use these Sulkies on, so I'm excited about that. And then what finally came in was the pins for the Hop On In. And I thought as long as I'm kitting everything up, I had them throw in the fabric for me. And they said, hey, they had the finishing fabric, so I got that as well. So I am ready to go on Hop On In. I've got everything that I need to give that a start as well. That's super fun. And then, of course, no purchase is complete without a few wish charts. And I picked up the latest Sunday Stitches from Heartstring Samplery, the Old Rugged Cross. So I picked up that. I can hardly wait to stitch that. And then from Hello from Liz Matthews, I picked up her Gather Here chart, which I think is one of the sweetest things I've ever seen. I can hardly wait to stitch this also. And I am going to stitch this and put it in my dining room. So that is my haul. Plus, I got my subscription copy of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. I'm not going to do a flip through. I'm sure others have done it, but there are some super sweet things in this issue. So once again, plenty of stitching to do. That's my haul. Yep. I think that is plenty, right? I've got charts I purchased, 5 and 6 years ago that I haven't stitched, and now I've purchased more things to stitch. Oh well, that's okay. It keeps me off the streets at night, isn't that what they say? It does. I sit in my stitchy chair and I watch TV or FlossTube. I love watching FlossTube while I'm stitching, and it keeps me happy. You guys all keep me happy. You keep me sane. Like I said, I got my first vaccine, so before you know it, we can all be stitching in person. I am looking forward to that more than I can say. I think that's it. I rambled. I talked super fast. I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I'm just so revved up about getting my vaccine that I think my brain is going 100 miles an hour. So forgive me. You might have to watch this on half speed instead of 1 1/4, right? All right, you guys, I hope you are having a fantastic week. I hope things are going well for you. Things are going good around here. So until I see you next week, have a good time with your stitching. I hope you can find time to fit that in. And like I tell you every week, stitch happy, my friends. Okay, bye.